I guess we're live. Hey everybody, welcome to Starry Eyes, the podcast where you submit your tips and the podcast where you submit your tips and tricks on how to improve your pixel art so you can make better art, better mods. I'm the Sprite Star creator of Olympia. We have Geek creator Amalo and others, and we also have Wishstream creative Astra. So Geek's just having a freaking giggle. Oh yeah. There he is. The hoopla brought him back. But hey there everybody. It's been a hot minute. And we'll go ahead and get into all this. Also, where's Wish?
I don't know. The last thing we heard was hoopla.
Yeah?
Oh, you're extremely quiet, Wish. The hoopla broke you.
From Mike, I think.
That's not me. That's not me, guys. It's not me this time.
Oh yeah?
That's all Wish.
The right device.
Whoa! What the hell?
Am I really loud this time?
You might want to listen to the stream yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And, like, say something.
Hold on.
I swear this was working before we started.
It
streaming.
really was working before we started. Everything was fine.
Uh-oh.
Give it a second.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, we're good. Can we get some hooplas in the chat?
Yeah.
Hope you guys had a good Father's Day. you know, before we start, I heard Father's Day as Poggers Day.
It really
Right?
is, though.
So, talk to your dad, guys.
Yeah, all you guys, dads, your fathers, your grandfathers, they're hella poggers, dog.
Hey, check it out! I learned a new skill.
The fuck is this stream?
Let's look at some sprites.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't been podcasting for a while.
It's been a minute.
We're just having some fun. All right, let's get started. Before we get sidetracked, some more hoopla.
Okay.
We are professionals. We have portfolios that we hand to businesses to get work. And this is how we instruct our...
We get paid.
Alright, so on task, we got ourselves we got Demo Man. This is the second time he showed up. And now he's back with the up special. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely a more lively animation than the last animation we saw, which I think was just like a idle, if I remember.
The explosion could get some work though.
Yeah. I'm looking at him, staring at it.
I'm not sure what to critique on this one. Should I just point out the biggest thing that's like staring us Like when we got this sprite.
What's that?
What?
You know how big the canvas is? For
Oh
some
yeah,
reason?
no. Whoever submitted this, your submission was a hecking long boy, dude. Like this. I know we say to expand the canvas to give yourself enough room, but like this, with the certain size that we have here, it's like, yeah, that's more than the screen on how
Here, show
big
them
it
this.
is.
I put it in the Discord.
Okay.
Just to get a sense of scale for how big they made the
Yeah,
canvas.
let's get this scale going real fast, because you guys need to experience what we're experiencing, because it's a treat. It is a treat. Okay, so let me just fit the screen. I did something wrong.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how big it is.
Tall.
That's a lot of room that's just not being used.
It's
Spanning across the entire screen.
Sprite has a trim function.
Yeah, like you can trim things down after you like send it to us. Like we understand if you have a bigger canvas but you don't want to send us the whole canvas. Like it's fine. But don't send us the full thing and it's like that.
Anyway,
Anyway.
it said that it was for like an alien beam they wanted to simulate,
Oh, okay.
and then they couldn't be bothered to crop it.
You know what? That's fair. You were probably doing a lot of stuff, and then it was like time to submit it. Oh fuck. Ah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the actual Sprite. Okay,
Well,
something I want to point out. What's with the crotch? Like, what's going on when he does the little slam pose? Like, what is that thing in the middle?
I think that's like part of like the chest like armor thing. Like
the chest armor thing is black though. That's red.
Hold up, I need to zoom in on that. Oh yeah, it's just the chest armor, crotch armor thingy just flips up and then goes down.
No, hold on. Let me see if I can get a screenshot. You guys can talk in the meantime.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know. What do you call this? I mean, it's pretty good for the south, for what it's worth. Other than the relatively weak explosion thing, like you could stack, you could prove the effect by stacking. Like, I could see you attempting that, but maybe stack a little bit more effects on top of it. Like most explosions have a what do you call this? Like several layers of effects on it. Like got your initial explosion, the outer ring, the smoke that comes afterwards. It helps. Like this works if like you're lazy though. Legs kind of feel static, and I can't argue with that. Right? I mean, it does the job.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Geek. Yeah, with the screenshot. If you see it in action, that's the small crotch thing, the black crotch thing. It flips up on the explosion.
Yeah, but it feels like
It.
I don't know what the red part underneath that is. Is he just packing like the butt? I don't know.
I think that's just literally their crotch area.
Yeah, it's
So weird.
yeah.
It's weird. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because it's like the rest of his body is like facing the camera in that pose, and then the legs just kind of. Yeah. The legs still behave as though they're from the side, and their origin point, like the actual hip part, is way to the left. Because I think the weird part under the crotch flap thing is supposed to be like his, because the leg is all like bent up to exaggerate and everything, but it doesn't. It just like keeps going. It just keeps going.
Oh yeah.
There's no hip. It's just all thigh.
It's not communicated well that it's there.
It's just kind of confusing.
It's like, now that I keep looking at it, I can't think. I can't stop thinking of Bayonetta. Bayonetta leg is just going up.
Yeah.
They just keep going.
But to add a little bit to the actual like critique going on here, the leg is kind of stationary, but I think it's excusable for the kind of motion that it is. Since it's going to be skyrocketing up, you're not really going to be able to really pay attention to that in motion.
That's fair.
If they're skyrocketing up, why is the effect on the character?
I think
they can just separate it later.
Yeah, I think that's on a different layer.
Okay, cool.
I think they're just like working on the explosion timing as well, which kind of need more of a. Honestly, you need more of an impact here. Like what we got is all right, but you could sell that animation a lot more. I wouldn't look at I would not look at a Metal Slug like a lot of people would say you would look at, because though those animations are beautiful, right? Those, especially the explosion animations, are just gorgeous. Not the kind of motion you're looking for this explosion. You're looking for something more like poppy, right? Instead of something more thoroughly animated like in Metal Slug, which honestly, to give a beginner, don't look at Metal Slug for a little bit. Like Metal Slug got a lot going on, and it's a lot of advanced stuff that even the three of us, though we touch on it, we ain't passing it to y'all. Like, just work at your own pace. Don't aim for that. Like, they got paid to work on that stuff, and they barely made a profit off of that. But still, I would definitely look more so in like DS games specifically. Those have like a lot of good like hit effects that you can look at for reference, and like pay attention to like the timing. Mega Man as well. Mega Man X to Zero has some good like explosion animations as well. But yeah, pay attention to how the timing works, because typically it's like the start of the explosion is the intense flash, right? And that's for 1 frame. And then spikes out is like maybe 2, maybe 3 frames, and then the decay has the most amount, because that's honestly the thing that's going to take the longest in an explosion for it to just settle. So just keep in mind that the end of it is more so where you should be putting frames, and the beginning to the middle is just showing how intense the explosion is. You can also do something a little more advanced by actually making like the white part of the flash show up on the body, like around the areas that it's affecting the most. So like the legs and the torso, that will really sell this animation as well. Honestly, this animation, for what it is, I think it's more so the explosion and how lackluster it feels is the main thing that you should be aiming for. Like, you've already got like the dynamic posing here, right? Like each frame looks different than the other. Could be a little stationary, but you know, that's polish, right? You can move these pixels around whenever you want. But I feel like the explosion is the more important part of this, because I'm guessing that's where the hitbox is going to be as well. So you gotta illustrate that. So yeah, I personally would say focus on the explosion and maybe even a little bit of like high exposure. I think that's the proper term for it. Basically the white
Flash?
Yeah, the white flash.
The flash of the character? Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the flash on the body to help show, oh snap, this is a lot of energy happening in this area for like literally a frame. Like just a flash of it at the beginning of like the explosion. That's all you need.
Yeah, like taking a picture.
Yeah.
And also, what do you call this? Maybe a little bit of recoil would help too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of recoil to the movement. But other than that, for the style and what it is, it works just fine.
Yeah.
It really just needed the explosion.
Yeah, this is supposed to be up special, right?
Yeah.
Well, why is it transitioning back into the standing state? He's supposed to be in the air.
I think he's missing the falling animation, or rather, he's using the standing animation as like height, like reference, and then since it's an up special and he's going straight up, he's probably gonna go into like special fall for that. So he's just leaving that alone.
Yeah, but it seems like the ending frames of this are like supposed to transition back into the standing state, which is never gonna happen.
It looks like it's snappy though.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have the end lag of the landing.
Yeah.
I would have to see how it looks actually transitioning to pratfall or whatever.
Yeah, that's also something you should probably do. Like design a platfall like frame or animation. Probably something that loops. 1 to 2 frames is fine. 3 if you're wanting to be really fancy. But just like have a couple of frames transition into that pratfall, and then there you go.
Hold on. The file is named Domain D-Smash.
It's down. Okay.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Okay. So we goofed. Not gonna lie. It does look like an up special.
Is it because the canvas is so tall?
I think it's mainly because the canvas.
This is special.
Oh, wait, no,
Then-
he did say it was up special. Okay, I guess they changed what move it's on.
I guess so.
They did, or they just named the file name wrong on the export.
Maybe.
Regardless, there's a lot of like. You have like 2 options here. Either you make some ending lag on the down special, or you make a transition in the pratfall for the up special, down strong and up special. Like the advice that we're giving is still like usable, despite what kind of like move it's going to be.
I looked in the submissions channel and he said it was up special, so let's
Okay.
go with that.
Yeah.
Our advice is still relevant.
Yeah.
And just got too wild halfway and changed it. Okay, that's fair. All right. Okay.
Moveset changes are always like a good idea. Like for someone that has gone through the gauntlet for making moves for Olympia, do not just stick with your first idea unless it's a banger. And most likely it ain't. Olympia had like 3 different forward strongs. Like, but yeah. Where'd it go?
Astra had 3 different movesets in time.
There it is.
Alright.
I haven't changed any of my smaller moves. Aren't they fucking special?
Congratulations, you work for the game now. But yeah. Let's go over to the next animation.
Yeah. Goo Man. Up strongy. Alright.
Ooh.
Okay. It's twitchy. It's twitchy.
Yeah. He's blue dabba dee dabba die.
Yeah. First thing I noticed is that it's just like a few frames they just try and move back
Yeah.
for some reason. Right? It's like it's supposed to be like the feet are the ones that's stationary, but I could see them like opening up and then like, moving left.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unnatural though, because like what do you call this? Like the rest motion just moves left, and then you go back to like regular position afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a couple pixels, right?
and then there's the spike ball too.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that. Oh, I don't know if that's intentional. You put outline on a. Yeah, that's all I could come up right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. It's interesting. One thing I want to point out, I'm not sure what the move is supposed to be doing. Like, it swipes up and then it gets spikes on his arm? Like, is that supposed to be his second hit, or what's going on there? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, after it gets the spikes, it moves kind of slowly. Like, it doesn't even feel like it would have a hitbox. But, like, it has spikes, so I'm assuming it's actually offensive or something.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of clarity there, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
When there's no clarity.
I understand that there's like a sense of it being like a malleable like substance, right? Whether it be like clay or like goo or whatever. There's a lot of like anatomy inconsistencies that just doesn't make any sense. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some like goo characters. I love me some slime characters. I'm always going to be an advocate for whenever it's going to be made, to make like a slime water rival character, like a rivals OC that's slime based. I would love to see that happen, and I'd love to help out in some way with that. But there's like things there's things that's happening here that doesn't really like conform to any kind of law, which is weird because you'd think that it would, have its own like sets of laws and things. This is like advanced like thought process here, right? Like, of course, like people that are just doing this casually aren't really gonna think about this stuff, and that's fine. But like from how I'm reading it, it seems like there should be rules here, but it's breaking its own rules when that shouldn't be the case. For example, like the it's very hard to show because there's low contrast between the colors, but the forearm, like the shoulder area, like dips down where the waist is and then moves up.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that before. What the heck?
Oh, that's supposed to be the back arm, the ones that's darker shaded, and then like
Yeah,
puts
but
both hands to the ball kind of thing.
The front arm though is like really low contrast.
It's
like
jiggly.
it's jiggly, and it goes down and it's supposed to go up when you should probably like keep the wrist area where it is, so A, it would make more sense like thematically, and B, you'll actually get more reach for your up strong. Remember everybody, no one told me about this until after I made Olympia's up strong. Up strong's got to go through plat. Like either up tilt or up strong got to go through plat, and you got to make a decision on which one. Yeah, that's just like a rivals rule thing, like just design philosophy. This one, I can already tell you right now, doesn't do that. It barely touches the platform. I know, because Olympia is kind of the same height, if not slightly taller by a couple of pixels. That being said, there's one thing that you could like fix with this that isn't like move the shoulder up, and it's a very interesting idea that came to mind while I was looking at it, and I think this would make your character look a lot more dynamic if you do it this way. For everyone in the chat, and also Wish and Geek here, you guys know about Killer Instinct and the character Glacius?
I've heard of it, but I don't know about the character.
Glacius is like an alien ice dude that one of his moves, you like dip into the ground and then you rise back up with an uppercut.
Oh.
And he like turns into a puddle and then goes right back up. I think that would make this move way more striking without having to like do a bunch of like crazy redesign stuff, because I like how simple this character is, right?
Yeah.
But like making like the charging frame be like before he dips down and then goes straight back up. It has to be really fast, mind you. This is like a couple of frames to do this, like 2, maybe 3. PM Knuckles is something I'm also seeing in the chat as well. Yeah, no, look into Glacius. I think it's his Dragon Punch move. I'm not sure what the move input is, but he dips into the ground. He can move a little bit, but we're not worrying about that. And he like rises back up, and you can use that to like elongate the clay dude to make him look more clay-like while he's doing it. And I think that'd be way more interesting than him just standing there and leaning back, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I would say like you probably don't want to redo the entire move by concept or whatever, just for more advice. But it doesn't have a lot going on yet. By default.
Like I'm only bringing this up because this is already a extremely simple character to make animations for. Like you're only working with literally 3 colors, only 3 colors. Like you could do a lot of funky stuff with a character with just works with 3 colors, period. Right? Like you can do a lot of like creative things, and honestly, scrapping ideas and scrapping animations don't hurt as much when you're only worrying about 3 colors. Like, this is a very smart move for a beginner, like, pixel artist. And if you want to do those kind of, like, wacky and interesting, like, animations, this is the kind of character to do it with.
Yeah. It's also a good character to practice fundamentals with.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it kind of feels like you need to...
A lot of this has to do with consistency, right? Consistency with the volume? Yeah, the volume of the character. Because, like, you know, despite being, like, gooey, there has to be some kind of an anchor point from where you're morphing from. And also, here's a big thing, and probably for a lot of you guys, I noticed this. Since I think you're starting out, you're not doing the outlines right. You're just doing the outlines directly outside the character.
Oh
right?
Yeah, they just did an outline filter.
Yeah, this is like the outline tool on Taste Sprite, and that's it. That's what you did. No, there is a consistency to it. Anything that's basically not connected needs to have an outline, right?
Yeah.
So let's say the arm part, the arm to the chest, that doesn't need an outline, but the rest of the arm, since it's like detached from the body, that needs to have an outline, right?
Yeah, that's kind of why it's so hard to see the shoulder moving around everywhere.
And it also applies the same thing on the backhand, right? You could use the outline to determine depth too. Like, it's like it's so far away from the body that you could just outline the entire body away from the left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a simple concept that people should follow, really, if you're doing outline. That only the connected parts, or rather, in some cases, the hard edges, right? Because like sometimes clothing could have an outline, and you know, since it's attached to the body, you could go both ways, that not having a outline on it or having an outline. There we go.
Yeah.
Think we're done with this one?
Yeah, you got a lot of different options here, and don't let that discourage you. That's probably the best thing you can probably get. Like, it'd be different if we just like looked at it and was like, change this thing and nothing else. Like, there's a lot of things you can do well with this. Touching up the sprite in general, making sure things are working well is one of them. Probably adding in a little bit more finesse to this character, if that is an option that you want to take, is another thing. and also like fixing up the shading, which is also in the touching up phase, but not shading, the outline. That's also in the touch up phase. But yeah, just you got a lot. Just take it all in and use what we said to make a better animation. We know you can do it.
Animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to our next animation.
Alrighty. Next one.
We got ourselves a big boy, actually, a big old boy. Look at him.
Yeah. It's the
I don't
Dark
know
Souls guy.
It is the Dark Souls guy. Look at him, with the souls that
Yeah.
are dark.
Yeah.
It's him, John Dark Soul.
John Dark Soul. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's really
Good.
right. Like, it's great. Like the shading and everything.
Yeah.
I could gush about it.
Do
Maybe.
it. Go ahead.
But tonight. Yeah. Looks like a gnome.
Very big gnome.
A Dark Souls gnome. The shading is good. The way the cloth is moving is also good. Like, what do you call this? It's subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bed part. Bed part. Best part.
I just want you guys to know, both my two hosts here and also everyone in the chat, that the name of this file is called Idle Big Shaded, and I think it's fitting. It is an
Yeah.
idol, it is big, and it is shaded.
Yeah.
I also possess those qualities.
There's a lot of attention to detail here that like there's also like the head. It's just it just captures it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
It's slow. It's an old man. It's slumped over. Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Hold up. I just noticed something. That intentional. There's a rip in the middle.
Ah! Where's his
Saw
king?
that?
Is it?
Let me look up his source material and see if that's a thing on his actual.
Yeah.
We are now looking on the internet to find Big Shaded, the Dark Souls character, to see if he has a tear in his coat.
It seems like he does.
Okay.
The cape is torn. Okay, cool. Good attention to detail.
Yeah. At first I was gonna pause it. I was like, oh, is that an error? Let's think. Okay. There is a big tear. Good.
I mean,
Do I have
is
any
it
other
either on the
to add to this? Not really. Maybe. Invest on sub-pixel animation to give this a little bit more life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would even, to be more specific, just put it on the just put it on the cape.
Yeah.
Just move the tail end of it, just a little bit with that sub-pixel animation, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit on the beard too. I don't know. Very subtle movement.
I don't know. I think that much to just the wide movement. It's literally really tiny breathing to justify, right?
You're kind of breaking up there.
It's about, I was trying to do like breathing sounds, like slow breathing sounds when I read filters out.
No, wait, I didn't hear any of that. Oops.
Yeah. Darth Vader slow
Oh yeah.
breathing.
Please. Okay.
Like,
so-
like-
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Something I
Sub.
want to point out, well, first, but in terms of actual criticism, his knees go up by 1 pixel, but the rest of his body doesn't, which seems a little weird. Like, Like they obviously go up. They straighten out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like everything above the little skirt thing, I don't know the manly term for that. It just kind of stays at the same height. And
It's not
that
a skirt.
is weird.
It's cloth armor.
Skirt. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I would take the subpixeling advice as well, but that's pretty much the only glaring error I've seen from this. The rest of them looks good.
Yeah, I didn't even see that until like Geek pointed it out though.
Yeah.
I've been staring at the sprite for the last like 10 minutes.
And it's fair. And that's what we do. We look
Yeah.
at it real time, and then we get surprised.
Yeah. It's like when you stare at ghosts except it's sprite.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know what the movie's about.
Man skirt. It's called a kilt.
The kilt is plaid. Plaid. Plelted. What the? Anyway, let's go over to our next animation, which is another idol. We got a lot of idols today.
Yeah. Wait, is this Rat?
It is him, the guy, Chad Rat.
I don't
Chad
like
Rat.
the. I don't like this one a bit.
I don't understand. Like, I know Dino is probably in the chat right now. He's in Extended Workshop. He's in my own personal server. I will never understand how, like, you just defy the laws of physics to make muscles like that. They look like mochi balls on the legs. Y'all see that?
I think that's the point though.
Yeah.
It's like Chad Rat. Yeah. It's like
I understand. I understand the creative liberties here, right? I understand the lack of, like, I don't care about anatomy to make this as funny as possible. However, I can't overlook the fact that it ignores all types of anatomy. Like, maybe I'm just not the consumer for this kind of comedy, but holy shit.
it is quote unquote 100% super realistic.
Dino Bros in the chat said it's supposed to look super realistic, and then like a minute later he just said not. Got the not.
So okay. You might think of this, right? Think of this. I'm looking at the post that you made. You have a feeling it's heavily pillow shaded. That does not look like pillow shading. That looks like anti-alien.
Yeah. Pillow shading is like taking anti-aliasing, but to the next level for no reason whatsoever. For this, anti-aliasing is just to smooth out the edges, and that's what you're using it for, and that's fine.
Is it what you're using it for? That's the cut. Is it? Because now I'm looking at it from far away. There's a little shade. It's over aliasing.
It does look a little pillowy.
It's mainly around the arms. The legs are fine.
Oh yeah.
It's the arms that you're probably going to be looking at, which I would say do like you did with the chest and like draw the lines for where the muscles are going to be. Like just Dragon Ball Z that shit, you know, just do that.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of other criticisms against this.
Yeah, no, like if we try to like steer this to be more artistically in mind, the joke is gone. Like
Yeah.
Actually, do you want us
Should we try
to?
I'm-
Should we try like changing the voice server thing? See if that works.
Like to where?
I don't know. It's west right now.
Yeah, it says west for me too.
Hold up. Wait, am I disconnecting?
No, you're like roboting out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, hold up.
She's back.
I'm tired. Hi. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Alrighty.
Comprehensible now.
And do you want me? Do you want us to treat this like an actual animation, where we go to like okay gravity and everything and such, or do you want us to treat this like an animation purely for comedic purposes?
Yeah, that's an important.
It's a important distinction.
You're free to do what you want. I actually have all the animations
like,
done.
You know, they're.
Yeah, you're still breaking up, Bush.
Oh boy.
We need to get the rat off the screen. It's messing everything up. Scrambling the signal.
Am I still roboting?
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda. Okay.
It has bad spots and better spots. You're still a little like crackly, even on the good side
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, you could play my dying USB port. That if it's crackly, blame my dying USB port. If it's roboting, it's not my USB port. Alright, so do we tackle this as a comedic one, or do we tackle this as a serious one?
Yeah, Dian. I see you in the chat, Dino. Let us know. You want us to like give you critique for it?
He said to do whatever you want.
Oh.
Then just let him have it.
You know, like I can tell this is a shit post. Like I don't think they're going for artistic mastery here.
I mean, at this point, it's more so.
Midway.
It's more so now for advice for later instead of for this character specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright. Who's going first?
I'll go first. Mochi legs. You need to learn about anatomy. One thing, I'll that wasn't even the thing. Tail motion. I think that's the biggest thing you need to worry about with this animation. Tails are very hard to animate, but they don't work like that. That's like a scorpion tail, if anything. And even then, like, they don't really move like that. They kind of just are stationary until they're ready to strike and whatnot.
And if they do move like that, they sway, then lift, and then fall or drop.
Yeah. But
And yeah.
just be mindful and look at like references for tail animations if you're going to be making another character with a long tail, because I had to do that for Olympia. Olympia's tail animations for like live Olympia are botch, to say the most. Like, they are not good animation. And that's my fault. I kind of rushed it, and that's on me.
Yeah, there's some semblance of it though.
Yeah. But it's still like, okay, we gotta figure out how tails move. You gotta look at tails in motion. They move in a particular way, every single one of them.
And there's different actions for dogs. There's different actions for cats too. Squirrel tails, you know. It's kind of like a dangling rope for the most part.
Yeah.
And they need to be like stiff in a way. And in this case, yeah, tails don't move like that. They lift from the start of the tail from the back, and then the rest follow. and here you're lifting the bottom part of the tail first, the end part of the tail first. Yeah, that's not how it works. Unless you're a cat that is extremely, like, shocked.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like the arms, right? You can make it like a much more smoother motion. It's like instead of you could like it's kind of like a fighting pose. You could make it do that nice bounce to it.
Yeah. A little bit of an overshoot, if anything. Like.
Yeah, a little bit of overshoot. Yeah.
Like, and the term overshoot gets thrown out, and you immediately think, oh, I just need to make it a little longer. It's like, actually, like, overshoot can also work with, like, that, like, faint twitch back into motion, right? Like, if you, like, throw a punch, right, and you, like, throw it as hard as you could, you can actually, like, feel your arm, like, shake a little bit. That's overshoot, technically. And that's, like, a version of overshoot. And you can use that for this. And it gives it that more weighted, like, feel to it. Especially since he's already, like, rising up and landing back on the back on the ground from, like, the balls of his feet. Pause? I don't know what that means. But, like, yeah, you could give it a little more weight with just, like, that little shake in the arms when he, like, hits the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my add-in to that.
Yeah, you pretty much explained how I would do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, it looks pretty okay to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit of advice for you guys. Like, if it feels stiff, add a little bit of overshoot.
Yeah. It's literally a frame, and you just move some pixels around. It's fine. Like, it's super simple, and yet it makes it look a lot better. Like, take it from the guy that made Olympia. Like, I had fun doing that. Like, Forward Strong was one of my favorite animations to do because of that. But yeah.
There is a YouTube channel I do want to link that has a ton of examples that is just purely the emphasis of everything that we just said. Let me just find it up. Oh wow. I do not want kid's finger puppet. No.
You got anything to add to this, Geek?
Not really. You guys got it pretty good.
Yeah. Geek is just vibing in the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move over to the next one. We'll drop that resource in the chat so you guys can get it. We got ourselves a forward roll animation. Let's blow it up a little bit. And this is an example of look at reference. This person's looking at a reference. I can obviously tell.
Yeah.
And you're actually doing a really fantastic job at it.
Yeah.
Found it. I found it.
What?
Nice.
Okay. The channel is Inkid. He is a cartoon animator that does a lot of squash and stretch and a lot of overshoot too. A lot of good overshoot. Here we go. That's the channel right there. Its name is Inkid. Alright, time to go to that Tomb Raider rolly thingy.
Oh,
Tomb Raider?
Kid. That guy. I love the animation. Very good.
Yeah. It's also pretty good. It's so good. Alright.
Okay, sprites.
Okay. Wait. What character is this? Shang Tsung?
Yeah, it's the guy from Mortal Kombat or whatever.
Alright.
Wait, really? Hold on. No, y'all keep going. I'm double checking.
Okay.
Alright. I can see you like you're prototyping this animation because like one frame here is like not complete, right? Or is it part of something? I am not
I
sure.
would assume no.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I know who made this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Continue?
Yeah, it's a good role.
Yeah.
Like, what do you call this? Like, for the body type, yeah, it works. Though it could use a little bit more compress, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Like,
how do I explain this?
uh,
Like, it's you got it from like a source where it's kind of like a rotoscope kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rotoscope kind of thing where it's someone rolling forward safely. You don't roll like that when on a battle though, unless it's a stunt.
Yeah.
typically in fights you don't roll at all, because why would you do that? Combat roll.
Yeah, unless you're Hulk.
So it's really just there's no proper combat roll thing. It's just roll
Yeah.
however you want.
Yeah.
If you want a proper like, is this supposed to be a dodge?
I
would
think it's a
assume so.
dodge. Yeah, that seems to be like the only animation that I would think it would fit for. Let me check.
Yeah, it's roll forward. Okay, it says roll forward.
Yeah.
It is a roll forward. You want to do is the combat roll and not. I'm gonna sit down,
This
lean
is
forward, roll.
this is a tumble, if anything. Like there's there's a term for this. Yeah, it's just a tumble somersault. That being said, it looks like a good tumble somersault if that's what you're aiming for, and from how deliberate it looks like what you're aiming for. What we're saying is that it could be a little more actiony, with just like, honestly, you could just like change the frame of like the first frame before he or this character goes into the role.
down?
Yeah, like instead of crouching down, have him dive forward a little bit.
Exactly.
Like that's one frame and it saves the entire animation because it looks more like commanding, I guess would be a proper way to say that. That's probably the wrong term, but
In mid-combat, you don't have time to actually, crouch down and roll forward. That looks. So.
just like
Like,
dive into the
urgency.
role is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, give it a sense of urgency to it.
Yeah.
So diving forward is definitely one very huge go-to way to go to. I lost my words, but yeah, it's a good way to portray urgency into like rolling forward.
Oh,
And you can see this with like, let's say, Mirror's Edge parkour. A lot of the forward rolls in Super Smash Bros. And more. Yeah.
You're gonna hate me for this, but forward rolls turn around. He's not turning around in the animation.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna okay, yeah.
I had the same issue with Malo's forward roll. Don't worry.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like that's weird how that works. Because I actually, for Olympia's role, I designed it in a way so it worked like that, right? Because I just thought that was how it was gonna be. But for some reason, like forward roll and back roll are swapped.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like just keep that in mind when you're putting this in game. Like if you see it not rolling the right way, that's not on you. But this character should be facing the other direction once they get out of the roll. And even then, that's like hell, the cheap way you can do it is modify the turn pose, like the walk turn, and like just do the thing that way. If you wanna do it that way, if like time is really of the essence, do it that way. But if you wanna like make new frames for it, make new make the new frames yourself. Like it's either way, it's fine. You forgot to do that. Okay. Yeah. Well, at least you got your advice. I don't have anything else to add to this because I think we covered all the points for this animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, let us go over to the next animation, and we got ourselves an aerial down special, and oh boy, is it a nice one. Sorry, geek. Just let me just.
Ow.
But
Okay, I'm not getting impaled in the head anymore.
yeah, this character, Dawn, is always surprising us when it comes to what his powers can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking
Alright.
Special on.
There's a specific one advice that he's looking about on this one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have one question for Donnie's aerial down special. Is there any way I could improve the startup animation? Because I feel like it's pretty stiff. Go wild.
More
It is
wind
pretty-
back. All right, one at a time.
Not it.
What you want is more of a like lean back, like lean into the animation, right? Like you got the keyframes for that, right? But you need to smooth it out, and instead of just going from like one pose to the other, just like bend his back, like get him all up in there, man. Like make it exaggerated if you got to. Do a body turn if you want. Like just do whatever you want. Like you got the idea, right? You got the timing for it. But if you want to like make the startup seem more lively, or less stiff, just like take a frame or so and dedicate those frames to him like reeling back into it. Cause this is a dive. Like he's gonna be putting all of his force into this. That would be my suggestion.
In my case, even like a what do you call this? Like a simple flip into like casting and then like going down would also work too.
Yeah.
Right? Like a sideways flip if you're not. Like, yeah. A sideways flip would do if you want to be stylish, and if you really want to be stylish, do it like Ryu Hayabusa's grab from Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
Like the whole body spins as down. Right, like you just kick someone up and then like teleports from the top, and then from there you could just use that animation like spinning towards downwards. You could use that, but that's like for me with the flare, like with a flare thing. But otherwise, you could just do like a simple flip into a spike down.
Shout out to Simple Flips.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Zuna drop. By the way, that's the move. Alright, how about you, Geek? What do you got?
See, I'm lazy and I would not animate a new flip for this. So I'm just gonna go with like the most direct solution. He kind of snaps from the wind up to the actual dive, and I would make that a more gradual transition. Like the most noticeable part is like look at his feet. Like they're kind of like diagonal down to the left, and then like they just kind of whoop to straight up.
Yeah.
And it feels like he should spend less time with his feet downwards and have more of a transition of just making him actually arc up to the top.
Yeah.
And the same goes for the blade. Because like it starts there and then it just snaps to the downward position. I think it'd be cool if it slowly moved into the downward position as it was forming. just to like get a better tell as to where it's going.
Oh yeah, like I'm seeing what you're saying. Instead of like having it be like boom to boom, right? Like snap snap, you would have like where it's at an angle and then it just like moves towards the angle it's going towards, like straight down.
Like
Yeah. Okay.
right
Yeah, I
now,
can see that.
right now it forms and does not move, and then it moves after it's fully formed. Do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's in addition.
They said
They
they tried doing that at one point, but it made it more sluggish.
Cut it in half. Do less frames.
yeah.
Cut it in
Like
half.
if if an animation is too sluggish, that just means you use too many frames. That doesn't mean that like the animation won't work. You just for the amount of frame for the amount of frames that you're going for, like whatever frame data you're looking for, or just you want at a certain frame rate, like just cut frames. It's fine. Like that's why we do things in the sketching phase, so we could just like test out the animation really fast, and then you like, all right, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at it like 40 different times. Feels too sluggish. Remove frames. just get rid of them. Like
Either that or just make the windows faster.
yeah, that too. Both are good options. But yeah, a good example for that would actually be Shovel Knight's Up Special, because it also has like that ending like arc down when he's descending. So if you're like trying to, if you want something that's like a visual in game for how that will look, especially for like how it might work in game, because if it's just like straight down, you're gonna have to like figure something else out with that maybe. But if you want it to be like a slight arc, like he like hops forward maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how this move would actually look in game, but you gotta keep that in mind. But still, all three of these examples can work for this one thing. You got options, is what we're trying to say. Like we all came up with something.
Programmer way.
Yeah, it's a straight downward dive. You can still do that, like that arc thing. Yeah, no, you can still do it. Like with the how your body is already turning anyway, it still works out. So yeah, no, you have literally 3 different options. Like that's how excited we are about this animation. Like we've seen so much like zany stuff that this character can do from you, dude, that like once you present us something that was like, all right, well, how can we improve this? Everyone has like a different opinion, and that's good. That is good. That's how you know you got an expressive and an exaggerative character, and that works well with Rivals. Hell, it just works well in animation, period. So you're doing a good job.
Yeah, and also I mentioned a lazy programmer way, which is put a slight up motion.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right.
In that regard, that would be like Shovel Knight's down strong, right?
Ask a specific question for this one.
Oh yeah, no, that's even.
We would have a hard time to actually pick out something.
Yeah. Also,
if you guys have a confident animation, by the way, it's like if you're confident that your skills are pretty good, feel free to ask a specific question that you want us to look at.
oh yeah, no, that would totally help us out. Like instead of us being like it's good and then passing it off, like we did with like Sai, Squally, and Dare, the other guy.
Yeah. Dar.
There you go. I know English. It's my first language. Anyway, that helps us pinpoint exactly what you're looking for us to pinpoint out, and that just works out. But yeah, speaking of which, the other guy, TM. Speaking of which, is Squally in the chat? If he ain't, there he is. So Ville's back and ready to go, Now with a forward air, I would assume.
Looks
It's
like a
fair, yeah.
folder.
It's forward air.
Yeah.
It's forward air. It says here in the file. And oh my god. I
Guys,
could-
stop showing off. Why are you still submitting to us? You're not looking for critique. You just showing
okay,
off.
maybe except for maybe how like I could see why they would have submitted the second kick rather
Yeah.
not be the best tell.
See, here, I included this one in because I know the meme Squally will just make good animations, right? Like, he's just showing off at this point. But this one actually it needs that extra push, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got what we're looking for here. Like, it, on its own, is pretty good. But, like, I don't know, I think it's the hold that's really like holding it back, because it has like this beautiful like transition into falling animation after that. Like, it's smooth.
Here's my problem. Like the most prominent part of this, right, to tell the second kick is the nails. Here's the thing. What if you look at it in the bright background?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
You can't. Right. I mean, it is enough to tell. Also, right? The white dots on her feet is the tail. It is enough to tell, but maybe it could be improved a little bit better. How to improve that better? Honestly, I do not know. I mean, it's perfect as it is. Like, maybe like a smaller wave, right, leading up to it, like some gust of wind could help with that, or maybe the foot itself could be like enveloped in some kind of smear. But at the same time, I could see why you didn't opt for a smear here, because it looks weird,
yeah.
right? Because it's a tail and a kick. They're supposed to be two different things. And if you put smear on both, it kind of blends together in that motion. How about you guys?
I'll let
I
Geek
do
go
think
next.
What?
I'll let you go next. Go for it.
Okay. I do think it needs one little frame between the like one frame before the second actual kick part of it, just to have a better line between where the leg moves from the wind up to the thing. Because it does kind of snap. It doesn't lead into it. Like, it's still forceful. I still really like it, but I think, okay, having a frame before the kick frame that's just like pretty much the same pose as the actual kick frame, except the leg is in the is not quite there yet, and it's also in a smooth.
Yeah.
That would fix it perfectly.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that working.
Yeah.
I
like these far.
actually have two things that I want to point out for this that would
Oh,
probably help out. The swipe one with the tail, it's kind of too snappy for this. You know, like, pay attention to like after the tail is done with the swipe and it like makes its rotation, but there's like two different frames of it snapping, and
Oh yeah.
you might be
I could
wondering.
see that.
You might be wondering, but Spar, how would you be able to fix that? You're only working with so many frames. It goes to my second point, which is the second kick, right? I feel like the smear isn't really selling it much because it's only one frame. And normally one frame smears are fine, but for the kind of like motion that it is, I don't know. It might need a little bit more of a decay and maybe have the smear go away from the foot a little bit just to show a tiny bit of range. Because, you know, do not shrink wrap your attacks. Just don't. It's a bad decision. Trust me, I made an entire character that's like that. Anyway, you can use a smear, and this is what a lot of fighting games do as well, where they have an effect or a smear, like extend the hitbox out and have it show that the hitbox is going to be in that area. That's another useful way to use smears as well. A lot of Rivals characters do that anyway. Crag being a very good example with his up strong, forward strong, all that good stuff. But yeah, you can have an extra frame. Instead of having it be a hold frame, you can duplicate that frame one more time, maybe two times, right? Where the foot is already out, right? You make that smear, you go it past where the claw is, because those are claws. It looks like it reads claws to me. Have it go out like probably a frame or so forward, and it just like keeps that arc of where the smear is already going. And then you would use those hold frames to move the tail with it, instead of having to remake like a different pose for it. So yeah. And that's a lot, but I'm really excited this character. I'm going to like say all this. I'm just gonna but yeah, no, you gotta, this character, all types of hype, and you've already been doing a lot of good animation, Squally. That's why we're like, so every time you submit something, it's like, oh, we're just rolling our eyes like he's showing off now, but like still, like you do amazing work for this. And like, again, if you have something more specific that you want to show us for the next animation, let us know, and we'll cover it in the next like podcast and all that good stuff. But yeah, you got some advice, and you're really close. This is like 98% done. Like the rest of it is just smoothing it out, so like things would make more of that flashy sense that we already like see Vil having, right? But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. If anybody else didn't have anything else to add to this, we can go over to our last submission of the night.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this. We're gonna end this podcast off with a bang that no one will ever expect. Nidal.
Holy shit.
It's Nidal animation. Interesting character design. Not gonna lie. Pillow shaded the hell and back, except for the tail. The tail looks great, but the clothing needs a lot of work shading wise.
Yeah.
Should I go first?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The coat flapping is weird because it just kind of like explodes out. I get what you're trying to go with, like it kind of spreads out because they're moving down and the wind catches it or whatever. But it shouldn't be that extreme or that sudden. Like you don't need to move a whole lot of pixels for an idle animation like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like just have the coat move like 1 or 2 pixels out, and that should be good. The same kind of goes for the hat flap things too, the helmet.
Yeah.
But it's to a much lesser degree, and I think you could get away with not changing those at all.
Yeah, the hat is fine. It's the coat and the tail that is the worst culprit of it.
Yeah.
It's an issue that a lot of spriters, myself included, I know who I'm working on, that has that age-old assumption that more movement equals better movement.
Yeah.
When something is very clearly just like you just standing there, it's like, well, dang, this is too boring. Let me just move everything. That'll make it better. That's how Olympia, like all of her tail motions was literally that. Like I just made it. That was its own excuse. But yeah, no, like you can have things move subtly, right? And it'll be fun. The tail in the ends of the coat is just doing way too much. That's his main culprit here.
Oh, you could compare this to the idol a while ago, you know, where it's really subtle.
Oh yeah,
right?
hold on. Let's pull them both up. So
Yeah.
we get a side by side view of this. Yeah, there we go. See, we got two examples of an idle animation that does too much, and then does just the right amount, but it's little movements, right? Like the duality of man. Like your submission that you did for this idle animation here on the left can take a lot from the Dark Souls guy, and that's just like manipulating frames like very gradually instead of it being like sudden bursts of movement. Like it's less is more when it comes to these kind of things. And especially when you're like probably gonna need to retouch the shading anyway to have more of a form around it. It will probably just be best to keep it simple anyway. And then just transition that over to the next animations that you're gonna be using for this. But yeah.
You know what a good animation just like this would help as a reference?
Yeah.
Blaze Blue, Ragnar the Blood Edge.
Oh yeah.
Idol.
Wait, is it a good example or a bad example?
It's a good example.
Okay.
I wouldn't be bad. Yeah, like you can see how like subtle and like how the coat moves just up and down, but it's not, you know, waving around.
Yeah, like most of the movement for Ragnar's motions to show that he's like active is his chest like rising and falling. That's it. That's him breathing. They animated him breathing, and that was more than enough to show that he's alive.
And if you still want that coat moving, another good reference to this is Arazael from the same game, Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
Azrael. There you go.
That's the
Azrael from Undertale.
No, I'm talking about Azrael from Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
I got it wrong. Yeah. Notice that it's like blowing in the wind and it's not moving up by itself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's completely fine, as much as it's a meme, to have the invisible wind only affect your character. I know a lot of people would be like, don't do that. That doesn't make sense. There's no wind blowing. Or if there was wind blowing, it'll be going in the other direction. Everything. Who cares? Just do it.
Yeah,
it looks cool. It's fabric. It's going to be moving anyway. Just let them do it.
Another one is Kokonoe, actually. Kokonoe is idol
yeah.
as well. You get to make their jacket just blow. Actually, I think it's almost the same coat.
Yeah.
Alright. Another thing, tail. It snaps also.
Yeah, the tail's doing a lot. It's doing too much.
You'd may want to invest on looking how a cat would move its tail. Because this one's sweet to instant, right? It's like moving up and down. Like I could see like you're trying to make like instant movement at this very start and then like calming down. Right? You could use like a any cat really. Any cat type of person that has an idol to help out have that tail motion that doesn't like, you know, wildly swing around instantly. Also, have been pointed out, everyone from Melty Blood is also a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go to your local tournament, go to the bathroom. They're probably going to be running Melty Blood in there. Just look at the sprites real fast.
Yeah. There we go. Do you have anything? Treat it like a rope. There's always a secondary motion to the tail. Right?
Yeah.
No, it's not one thing. You're moving multiple lines. It's like moving a rope. Like try to whip a rope. It's not gonna be instant. Like it's not gonna be turning into a stick when you try and whip a rope.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's pretty much what I can have for tail animations. Really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of there's awful lot of cats in BlazBlue. I just realized.
And not a single one of them in Guilty Gear. I'm not mad. You're mad.
Right. Yeah, there you go. And also Eunice as well.
Yeah, Eunice is good examples.
In birth, there you go. Under
Yeah, yeah.
in birth as well. That's a good reference too.
Yeah.
Alejandro has a good point. When I animate tails, I like to think of it like a wave going down the length of the tail. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much how most tail animation, tail movements go. Not just animation, like IRL too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I have here. Like, hat is fine. A bit of the upper part of the coat is fine. The collar. The arms are actually snapping.
Yeah,
Like-
I would actually. I think the smoothing out the arm motion would just be a byproduct of fixing everything else.
Mhm.
Like if
Yeah.
you fix the coat and everything to be not as like flowy, or if it's flowy, not like do that. Then you'll look at the arms like, oh, I can smooth these out in one of the frames, and you just like move some pixels over to the left and move some pixels over to the right, and then boom, you're done. Like it's a very simple fix compared to everything else. And if you fix the bigger issues, the smaller issues will be more apparent, and you'll be like, oh, I can fix this too, and it'll be really easy because I just gotta move some things, and then you do it, and then boom, you got a good animation. Focus with the bigger things first, and then start looking for the smaller things. Because if you get more wrapped up in the smaller animations, you will forget the bigger ones. Like, fix your bigger issues first. Whatever looks wrong immediately, fix that. And then once you're done with that, take a little break, get a fresh pair of eyes, go back to it and see the little things and fix those. Because they're in pixel art, it's most likely just moving one thing, like one pixel to the left, one pixel to the right, and like a frame between where pixels are moving. That's it. It's super simple. Like smoothing out pixel art, you gotta be in the mindset for it. Yeah. Also, I just noticed that he's blinking. Nice, good touch.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. And it's like after 2 loops too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good timing for that as well. But yeah. That is all the submissions that we've gotten. And that is all the time that we have for tonight. So thank you everybody for joining Aether's Workshop Starry Eyes. Thank you for submitting your submissions in. And we'll be looking more into finishing the rest of these submissions. Thanks, Geek. I just saw something in the chat. It was fine. But yeah, thank you everybody for showing up, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
And if somehow still Father's Day at your end, how about good Father's Day? Father's Day.
Yeah.
Foggers Day.
Yeah. Remember to shine your way and reach your dreams, everyone. Keep it simple.
Peace out, everybody.
Always say-